Elisha. In the morning he was just a disciple, he was just a pupil, and just a learner accompanying old Elijah to the muddy banks of the river Jordan, watching on as the old man performs yet one more miracle, and watching on as Elijah parts the water of the Jordan. But now, at the end of the day, he is left alone. He is suddenly alone, and he is no longer the disciple, because his guide and his mentor has gone. So suddenly he now must head back to the muddy waters of Jordan, knowing that this time it is he, Elisha, the new-fledged disciple, suddenly come of age. And now it is he, Elisha, who must do the miracle with Elijah's mantle in his hands. And so today, we might well look back to where we have come from. On our particular Christian pilgrimages, and we have to give thanks to our mentors, to our guides, to our teachers, and also to give thanks because we have met them in different contexts, and we have had different mentors, different guides, be they mentors of schools, teachers that we have met at university, or we have found also some mentors in the churches that we have attended through the years. And then we might look forward to what lies ahead, to the new challenges, the new responsibilities, and the new opportunities opening up for us in the future. And while doing that, we too stand by the banks of our river Jordan, with the mantle of our forebears in our hands. Mozart's coronation mass was written for the coronation of Francis II, the Holy Roman Emperor, in 1792. On that occasion, that music was first played. And at such an event, a newly king or queen is vested with the fine regalia of office. And I wonder what sort of robes they placed on the Holy Roman Emperor Francis II. I guess 35 years before contracting leprosy himself. In the spring of 1889, Father Damien was on his deathbed, dying of leprosy. And one of his followers asked for his clothes, that he might have the mantle of Father Damien. Damien replied, "You don't want my coat, it's full of leprosy." "Yes," said the follower, "I do. For I commit myself to follow you, to follow your work, even if it takes me to my grave before Easter." This is the mantle we are sometimes given. Yes, we are called to many different tasks, as Paul underlines in his letters. We have different gifts, but we are called also to different tasks. And some of them we might think we have worked out in advance. For example, in our anticipated career projection, in all the money we hope to make, in all the relationships we hope will come. But if we are called to pick up the mantle of suffering, we are called to pick up the mantle of our King of Kings. And this mantle will lead us ultimately to the cross. Or, as Charles Wesley underlines in one of his Easter hymns, these may lead us to the cross, the grave, the skies. And it is the mantle of God's servant that we should seek. Not the robes of earthly glory. Let us think of Princess Diana. Princess Diana, and let us remember the scenes of her visiting the hospitals and her handling AIDS patients. She was someone who was tortured in her complexity, of course, but she might remind us of Father Damien in her care for the marginalized and the lost. Here was someone who had taken up the mantle of royalty, of course, the mantle of royalty, but also the garments of compassion. We can all remember watching TV around the time of Diana's funeral and seeing the scene of people late in the night milling around the gates of their family home what it means to be God's people across the ages. We may not always feel worthy or capable to be part of such an apostolic succession, of belonging to a group of believers, of a proud tradition of women and men who made significant contributions to the life of our church or of our society. But this is our destiny. This is our destiny. What God requires from each of us. Never forget that young Elisha was given a mantle. But not just that, not only a mantle, he was given much, much more. He saw a great vision of the chariots of Israel and the horsemen thereof, and realized that he was canvassed about a fiery and celestial cloud of witnesses. And he received double the power of the Spirit, without which he couldn't have achieved anything. So our candle might flicker, but the wind is not just the chill north wind of the hills of the world, but there is also another wind, the wind of the Holy Spirit fanning our flame. So today, as each of us looks to what the future may hold, we have to do three things. First of all, let us continue to give honor to the saints and witnesses who have come before us. And let us recognize that their work will only continue if we take it forward. Number two, let us pick up a candle and light it, trusting God to fan the flames with the wind of the Holy Spirit. Number three, let us pick up their mantle of the prophets and stride on to our Jordan with Elijah's mantle gripping in our hands. So may we do God's will in our world. May we do God's will today. And when finally God vouchsafes us that final passage over Jordan to the land above, may we in turn leave God's mantle on the shore, our mantle on the shore, that in the power of the Holy Spirit it might be